Okay, nhớ trong ý chọn mong thông bờ ăn cứ nó, giờ lúc cả thu nó. Mấy time mấy pin comment có cú lùng thang, dù giờ vì chẳng chẳng mẹ làm black nó pin chậu của tôi thì của ha mấy time stuff book like video này của nó like a month and a half ago about how did I get arrested, you know. Giờ vì chẳng của ham day now, okay. So I'm gonna make a video again and you know, if anybody has a problem, you can go F yourself, you know, because everybody in the whole world needs to know the truth. They're trying to shut me up, and they didn't want me to talk because they don't want you guys to know the truth, okay? But I'm gonna speak English so everybody that don't have the Hmong program, so you can understand, you know, what's really happening, what's going on, okay? I don't know why the men in black are after me and why they're trying to kill me or stop me. But I'm going to tell you guys what I know and what I have experienced, okay, guys? Before I got arrested in 2022, before that, like 2018, 19, 20, 21, right there, like how you guys see, I always walk around Fresno. So people keep accusing me for, you know, sexual assault or robbery. You know, they keep accusing me that I break into people's house and steal their clones, their transformer, all their pussy clones, you know, or their goods, their drugs. They keep accusing me of stealing their drugs, you know, so I don't know what's going on, okay? So they keep saying that I'm calling the cops on you. I'm calling the cops on you. But when the cops showed up, it's the regular people. And they transfer into those men in black, those black hologram, you know, shadow people, where they could bend time and space and move faster than the speed of light. They got all this exotic direct energy weapon where they can shoot the big ass bazooka at me, you know. I get killed, I get vaporized, you know. So, but they use technology to cloak it. Like they use a big ass gun, a bazooka, you know, the size of my water bottle here. That's how big the gun is. And they make you see it looks like a blanket. And they fold it and they'll put on their shoulder and they'll bang at me. And I just get vaporized, or there's a big old hole went through my body and I just die, you know. That's how they kill me. They shot me with lasers. When the laser shot me, it is green. And when the laser ignite, it has a streak of smoke with it, you know. And he just put a big ass hole in through my body. I just fell dead right there. But I have a Wolverine and Deadpool's power, like X-Men, where I can regenerate, repair my body, you know, so I could come back alive. But they, you know, they always follow me around, hunt me down like the Matrix, like Neos, you know, where Mr. Anderson is hunting down Neos, you know, or like the Men in Black, Agent Smith are hunting down those aliens, you know. It just works like that. But they have a lot of exotic technology where they could, after the fight or the murder, where they murder me, and they will, whoever's around there, they will reprogram you guys by using their cerebral cortex brain chip here. And then everything gets wiped. They could re-simulate, re-digitize the whole area to make it look like there's nothing has ever happened or took place. So nobody knows what happened or what's going on, okay? Those Men in Black, they have very exotic technologies, okay? So I'm just want to let you guys know, okay? What's going on? I don't know the real reason why they're after me and why they're trying to kill me or take me out. But I do know that one time I intercept a telepathy when those two men in black, they telepathy each other. They say that we warn you about man's job. You know, so yeah, I know they talk about Superman, but whoever's following me, invisible cloaking, those two men in black are telepathying him about, they warn him about man's job. So I don't know what Elon Musk or Superman or whoever this man is pulling the string behind me or whatever. Okay, but I did intercept a telepathy like that, and that's what I heard. Okay, so only you guys know what they mean or what they're talking about. Okay, and one time I was walking right there on Belmont and Willow, right here where I live. About like 4 Fresno County sheriff deputies showed up, and then they cornered me, and then they throw down a handcuff. But that handcuff looks weird because it looks very thick, and the color and the material looks like carbine. You know how like 6 times stronger than a diamond. You know those carbine metals. And they throw down on the ground. They told me to handcuff me because they're very scared to touch me because one of the men in black, the sheriff deputy, touched me, and he blew up. Because when you guys morph into Superman, you guys touch me, you guys are gonna get blow up and you guys die. And then to make sure reprogram a new clones of you and replace you, so you could continue your story or legacy. So they got scared. So they throw down. They told me to handcuff myself, you know, and then I didn't know what to do, so I cuffed myself, you know. And as soon as I cuffed myself, the handcuffs get very, very super hot red, and it started cutting my arm. It started cutting my hand off. It's a programmable transformer. It gets super hot red, and it started eating and cutting my arm off, my hand, my wrist. And then my arm, my hand hair morphed into a unknown metal, living flesh metal. And then it protects my wrist, my hand. So the transformer, programmable transformer, couldn't eat and cut off my wrist, my hand. So after that, it stopped, it cooled down. And then somebody called the EMS. And they showed up, and then they put me on the bed, on the ambulance bed. And they tied me with those straps, and I couldn't move. And then one of the sheriff deputy, he used his hand like that, and he pressed down into my chest right here, and went boom, right inside my chest here. I don't know what kind of energy he shot, but he blew the F out of me. Boom, my whole body blew up. Just boom, like an atomic bomb, you know? And then my eyes, went to self-defense, and my eyes shot laser at him and blow him up. My eyes shot laser or microwave. Boom, blow him up. He's dead. Boom, he got vaporized. And then somebody or the Matrix re-teleport a new copy of him, and he just shift over. Like he just shift over like that. And new copies of him, you know, come back. But it's not the same one. So that's when the incident happened right here. Before I was arrested. And one time, I was walking over there by Chestnut and Freeway 180, where that Riley Park. I was in the back, where Thomas Street and Garner, and 4 Fresno PD vehicle patrol showed up and gave me up and cornered me right there. And they draw their gun and they start firing and shooting at me. And they put bullets all over my body. Boom, 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 boom. You know, there's 8 of them. And I just dropped down. I'm dead, you know. And then for a couple seconds later, my body just started to regenerate. Because my body has Wolverine and Deadpool's power. Where my meat can, the power they call it accelerate healing factor. Where when you get shot or stabbed, and it repairs itself, you know. So I came back again, and they commit murder on me like that, you know. And but I forgot when the Fresno County Sheriff, those men in black, they cornered me. They broke my teeth. You guys see right here? They broke 8 of my teeth, and you guys see how this teeth is wiggling too. You know, they punched me and effed up my face. You know, my face was filled with all blood and bruise, and my mouth, you know, all blood, and the neighbor probably saw it, and they called EMS, and then they took me to the community hospital, and the doctor played dumb. You know, he's gonna ask me, oh, what happened to me? Oh, you know, and nobody say nothing. You know, So when I got out of the hospital and I went to report at the Fresno County headquarters, report about police brutality, how they killed me and shot me. And I went to Fresno PD headquarters, and guess what they did? They fucking shut down. They freaking shut down Fresno police headquarters. You know, and they locked the door, and they act like the office is not open. We got another war right now again. They're here to kill me. You know, they play stupid, and they closed down Fresno police department headquarters. They shut it down, so I cannot go in there and complain. And I went across the street and complained to Fresno County Sheriff Department, and guess what they did? They sent a whole bunch of cops and told me to go outside, and they start shooting and killing me out there too, in broad daylight. And there's hundreds of people walking around. Nobody seems to care or give a F. You know, they shot and killed me right there out there too. And I came back alive again. And they just couldn't do anything to me, so they just let me go. You see, when I tried to report the truth, they trying to shut me in. They killed me in broad daylight. They committed murder. And nobody seems to give a F, or they play dumb, you know? Well, I can't never make it a complaint or file a complaint, you know? This is how it effed up this doggy dog world, you know? Where you cannot tell the truth. And when you tell the truth, they send those dirty cops come and silence you and kill you, you know? Before, I don't believe about police brutality and cops are murder, you know? They're dirty pigs, corrupted, dirty cops. That's why they still have a job. If you're still a law enforcement, you work at probation, police, DEA, sheriff, you are a freaking dirty cop, a dirty pig. That's why you still have a job. If you're a good, clean cop, you wouldn't be able to hold on to your job. You know, I experienced dirty law enforcement all my life. You know, they're all dirty pigs, dirty cops. All of them. If you still have a job and you still are a law enforcement, you are dirty pigs. You know, try to come and arrest me. I'll freaking vaporize your ass, you know. I'll delete you and your whole family, you know. I'm getting pissed off, you know. And then one night, I was walking around. The night that I got arrested, I was walking around by my neighborhood here. And then people just accused me that I broke into their house and sexual assaulted them. But before that, they reported that I raped 15 females, sexual assault them from age 10 to 50 years old. You know, and then those men in black, dirty pigs showed up, and they just arrest me and kill me, you know. When they showed up, they just start shooting at me. You know, those two first Fresno PD that showed up, they just start firing at me, you know. I didn't even know what the hell was going on, you know. I didn't know why I've been charged or why they arrested me. I don't even know what kind of crime I committed, you know. And they pull out the patrol car and they just start firing, bam, 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 bam. I mean, I dropped dead right there, you know, but I came back alive. And then they took me to the house where the complaint was made, and then those two cops left, and then another whole bunch of cops showed up, and then they were talking, investigate, and there was no break-in, there was no sexual assault. They did the rape kit test. There was no rape, no sexual assault. There was no forced entry, no break-in, no nothing. They still arrest me. You know, and they didn't tell me why they arrest me. They never tell me why they arrest me. They never read me my memorandum rights. You know, they break the law. And they take me to a Fresno Community Hospital. And then two cops showed up, Fresno PD, and they took me to the police station to get fingerprint. And while I was down there at the loading dock where they unload the gun, two of those a-hole cops, Fresno PD, draw their gun, and they make it look like I was a resistant arrest, and they start firing and shooting me, killing me in the loading dock, you know, before we enter the building, because they had to unload their gun. You know, and they just shot me. I dropped dead right there, you know, and I came back alive, and then they fingerprint me. I don't exist on the system because somebody changed my fingerprint and changed my DNA. So about 5 minutes later, somebody put me back in the system, you know, and my fingerprint did not match my fingerprint back in the 2000. You know, so somebody went in the system and erased my identity, you know. So they just locked me up, and I was in jail. When I went in jail, they beat me up. They had those thugs in there beat me up, and they broke 3 of my ribs, and I got 2 fractured skull, and they got like 4 or 5 big ass bulldog gang jumped me and beat me up because of my charge. You know, I didn't know what kind of charge I had, but if you have like a sex charge, usually they're gonna max you out and kill you and beat you up and kill you in jail. You know, so that's what they did to me. And then they moved me up to a 3rd floor. That's where I got maxed out on the 2nd floor, and they didn't even take me to the hospital. And I got injured, my rib. You know, I was hurting. I was laying on bed for 5 months in jail. You know. And the other time I got maxed out too because one of the dirty cops signaled the prisoner, the inmate, to max me out. So I don't know what happened right there. But it's a dirty system. And then they just play dumb and procrastinate my case. They didn't have no evidence, no nothing. And the witness didn't show up. I went to court for they locked me up for 1 year and 10 months. And they just keep procrastinating, postpone my case every time I go to court, postpone until the last minute after 1 year and 10 months. And the victim never showed up. And the victim refused to show up. The Fresno PD refused to show up. They got nothing. No cop, no witness, no nothing. And they still won't release me. And they just keep, putting me in jail, And then they say, and they finally got the clones of the witness to come. And the clones don't even know it's me. I could tell they're clones, Because they got pure white teeth. They got synthetic skins. They got those hazel plastic eyes, And somebody keeps telepathy, invisible cloaking telepathy to those witnesses to tell that, oh, it's me, But the victim, the clone don't even know, So what they did is they gave my mugshot 2003 because I got arrested back in 2003 when they incriminated me that I hit my wife. But I never did, so they dropped the charge, but I was arrested. And then the witness, they just show my one picture to her in my 2003 mugshot, and I look at it, I don't even know it's me. And somebody keeps telling her that that's me, and she just said that's me. But the judge knows that she's lying. The DA, the district attorney, they know she's lying. My public pretender knows they're lying. She's lying, but they don't care. They still charge me with a sex crime. I didn't even know what kind of crime I committed until when I went to court. I was arrested for 3 months, and then I just found out I got charged with a sex crime and burglary. So they couldn't have any evidence. So the Wednesday showed up after the 3rd time. They were supposed to release me. They break the laws. They don't care. The justice system has no eyes. They create the law there, but they want to weaponize to who they want it to, So I already see how the court system works. I heard a lot of rumors before, but during my time there, I went to court. I see a guy that he's blind, he has a broken back, and he's on a wheelchair, and he got charged for rape. And the judge and the DA believe that. I just dropped my jaws, and I said, man, what kind of world I'm living in? This guy's blind. He has a broken back, and he's on a wheelchair, and he got charged for a rape. And he went to prison for that. Who believes that? Anybody believe that you need psychological mind help? You got psychological problem. But they don't care. I see all kind of case where the guy he raped a 15-year-old girl. He was like 22 or 25 years old. He raped a 15-year-old girl. And his dad got money. His dad know people in the system. He bragged to me that, hey, I'm going to get out in 2 weeks, see? Because my dad got money. My dad he knows people in the system, in the court. I didn't believe him. And a week and a half later, he got released and his case was dropped and went away quietly. Nothing ever happened, And that's full BS, the justice system, So, I experienced, see all kinds of stuff. Since you guys want to know what happened to me, why I go to jail, what really happened, all this corrupted, dirty pigs, dirty cop, all of them are fucking dirty, freaking dirty, corrupted cop, because they use the taxpayers' money as a bonus, but the real payment is from the shadow government, from all this cartel business. You know, that's where the real money is at, because their job is to clean up and do dirty work. You know, that's how they get paid. That's how they survive, and that's where the real money is at. You know, that's why they still have a job, because they're dirty pigs. You know, all of them, every single one. You know, so you know, I just want to tell you guys the truth, what really happening, what's going on, okay? And then because these men in black, they don't care. You know, they think they're God. They don't care. They don't scare any Superman, okay? They're breaking the law. They incriminate you, sabotage you, use pretext, you know, whatever. So while my time in jail, I suffer a lot. I was very hungry. My family did not donate money or buy me food, so I just only get fed what I've been fed. In the jail, we get fed, and one time in the morning, breakfast like sandwich, and at night we get fed one-time meal. But it's not enough. They only feed you a little bit. I went from 220 pounds to 124 pounds. You know, I lost a whole bunch of weight. You know, I just got fat again because when I got out, I'm starting eating a lot. You know, I suffer a lot. I had to donate my fruit to them so they can make Pruno wine. If you don't donate your fruit in jail, they're gonna beat you up, and then when they get caught, you're gonna have to take the blame. Okay, this is all the bullshit in jail. Well, you have to set caught every night. You know, you have to give them BJ every night. You have to give them sex every night. If you don't, they're gonna beat you up to death. You have to pay heavy tax where you gotta laundry their clothes. You know, give them BJ or give them ass. You know, I had to wear a diaper for like at least 3 months. You know, when I came out, you know, everybody in jail getting raped, getting molested every night. If you don't, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna beat you up. And when they beat you up, they don't use small guys. They're gonna find some 6-foot guy, a 5'6" guy will take you to the back and mess you up. And the cop don't care. The correctional officer don't care. They're gonna play dumb and stupid like they didn't see shit. You know. And then they will drag you to the front and take you to the next part, and you just get maxed out. You know, you have to pay heavy tax in jail. You know, you have to pay by BJ or giving their ass, or pay them with canteen food. You know, and I didn't have no support, nothing. You know, we get raped every night. We have to BJ every night for the whole gang. You know, mostly are the bulldogs. You know, they think they're in control. The bisons are really cool. They understand because they're a minority, you know. But the bulldogs are the one in control almost every part, you know, and they're the one who make you do stuff. And they will tell you go steal something and then take the blame for it. They will tell you to go beat people up so you can take the blame for it. Or if they beat up somebody and then you have to take the blame for it, you know. If you don't do it, and they're going to kill you, you know, beat you up in jail. I don't know what the hell this car doing here, but he's trying to kill me here. They had soldier subatomic level in Superman. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on, how the jail works. You know, all those cops are dirty cops, you know. They're the one who bring all the drugs, and the nurse, they're the one who bring all the drugs, and they had the drugs in the canteen, the food. That's how they smuggle in the drugs, you know. And they give us the drugs, and then they come back and steal it, you know, and to resell it. That's how they make business in jail, all those dirty cop and dirty nurse. So, you know, this world's a dirty place, you know. It's all corrupted, you know. And, you know, it's a heavy tax to be in jail. It's not free, you know. Where you are scared, you can't ever go to sleep. And usually when you go to sleep, that's when they max you out, you know. They drag you off your bunk, to beat you up and stomp on you, you know. And if you get sick, they're not going to take you to the hospital. And they will rip your jumpsuit, steal your stuff, so you can't go to shower. You're going to get beat up if you don't shower every day. If you're going to drink water, you have to pay tax. If you're going to shower in there, you have to pay tax, you know. Pay tax by getting BJ or giving ass or your canteen food, you know. Or you got to do service, you got to do dirty. You know, if somebody effed up or do something in there, you have to take the blame for it, you know. And they're going to tell you to go steal somebody's stuff, and then you're going to get blamed for it or max people out, you know. It's a dirty war in jail, you know. It's very harsh. I can't never sleep, you know. It messed up my mind, you know. I've always feared that, you know, when's the next time I'm going to get maxed out or get stabbed, you know. When we're in jail, you know, those cops, they bring in cell phone for certain people. They got cell phone. They're on Facebook while you're in jail. Come on, man. It's like a luxury life in jail. people, the cop was sneaking guns for people and weapons, sticks, metals, pipe. They're smuggling drug, weapons, phones. It's a dirty world. If you snitch, you talk, you end up dead. Or the cops, if you piss off somebody and they will take you to the back and beat you up. Those correctional officers, they're all dirty cops. And they will move you to the next pot so you can't come back and snitch. That's how they run the world in jail. It's a very harsh world to survive. I suffer a lot. I went through a whole bunch of bullshit for something I never know or didn't do. So you guys want to know? That's what happened. Why I got locked up when I went in jail, what's going on with the world, the system, the dirty pig cops, corrupted cop, corrupt the system, The law don't exist for these people, man, If you believe in the justice system, man, you need psychological help, The world doesn't work how you believe it is, It's a dirty world. If you're not dirty cop and you're not in the buddy system, man, you play straight, you ain't gonna survive, dude. I just want to throw all my anger and all my complaints so the whole world will know and can see it, And what kind of people all these dirty people are, So anybody got any complaint, feel free to comment here, but keep it professional, use code word, okay, guys? I'm very angry at the world and how all these dirty pigs, the justice system, are treating me, And this is what really happened, and they couldn't get any proof, so they just tell me to sign the deal and put me on freaking probation, for something I never do, I could have had just walked free if they played the system straight, where they got no evidence, no nothing. The witness didn't show up, the cop didn't show up, nothing. And they should have just released me like within that few months, But they kept me in there for 1 year and 10 months, And they told me that they're gonna keep going to trial or go to court if I don't sign the deal. They kept some people there for 13 years, going to court, and at the end they got nothing and they just released it. But most people, they will keep you 5 to 10 years in jail, And then before they release you when they don't have no evidence on you, That's how they play their system, the game, So, your attorney is a vampire, They work for the DA and the judge, because they're in the buddy system. Your public defender is a public pretender. They ain't helping you. They're snitching on you to the DA and judge, wherever you tell them, So this is the buddy system. It's a corrupt, dirty world, So anybody got anything, feel free to comment, but use code word and stay professional, okay, guys? And this is how I got locked up. They use pretext to incriminate me and lock me up. And, I'm just very angry at the world, how people are effing up on me, Okay? Since you guys want to know what happened to me, why I go to jail, why the men in black are after me, okay? So, I see you guys on the next video. Thank you.